Hey guys, Timcast music producer Carter Banks here, wanting to wish you a Merry Christmas. We just signed our first artist to Trash House Records, and we have our first debut single coming out December 12th. Pre-save it on your favorite stream platform at trashhousechristmas.com. Support our work.
We've got this from Mediaite. Candace Owens drops yet another Charlie Kirk conspiracy theory. The U.S. military was involved. Ooh, really? Owens, in a series of Instagram posts on Tuesday, said she was ready to blow this case open. Oh, after 3 months, she finally is going to do it, huh? Based on a tip she received from a service member the night before. Quote, "It feels like today will be the day that the government can no longer deny it. Charlie Kirk was assassinated and our military was involved. I can't wait to share this information with you guys today." The commentator, who has more than 5.6 million YouTube subscribers and the 10th ranked podcast on Spotify, said the scoop came to her just hours after she went to church and prayed for the final piece to be revealed. Her prayer was immediately answered, she said. In the very first email she saw in her tip inbox right before going to sleep, she did not share more details. Her claim comes after Owens has spent the past 3 months sharing conspiracy theories about the killing of Kirk. Those include claims Kirk was killed by pro-Israel henchmen who were upset he was starting to have rational thoughts about Israel in the months before his death, as well as the claim billionaire activist Bill Ackman made threats against Kirk for his apparent shift away from Israel. And then we have this tweet from Sarah Fields. According to Candace Owens, this is who to blame for the assassination of Charlie Kirk based on her own public statements on X and on her podcast, I've Kept Track. Okay. The French government, including Emmanuel Macron and Brigitte Macron, the French Foreign Legion, 13th Brigade, the Gendarmerie Intervention Group, Israel, Israeli operatives, and Benjamin Netanyahu, Jewish donors, the U.S. government, feds, and the FBI, the deep state, the CIA, Turning Point USA executives and leadership, including Tyre Boyer and Andrew Colvett, Erica Kirk, yes, his wife, Blake Neff, Pastor Rob McCoy, Josh Hammer, Pierre DuPont and DuPont family, Stacey Sheridan, Freemasons, the broader French interests, BB Net, and Yahoo with Israel connections. Egypt and Egyptian operations, e.g. planes and joint exercises, Bolsheviks and anti-Christian forces, maroon-shirted individuals, suspected operatives or military, TPUSA associated influencers, e.g. Alex Clark. Are you done yet? There are only 3 possible reasons for her nonsense. Either she's evil, mentally ill, or a complete grifter. Which is it? Because a truth teller is not even on the table anymore. So, gentlemen, this shocking revelation that the U.S. military was involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination, what do y'all think?
They missed a partridge in a pear tree.
Ah, yes.
It sounds like she finally figured it out. I don't know. It sounds like she was making fun of Brigitte Macron, and then the French government threatened her life, and now she's just terrified and just doing what she does more because that's made her a lot of money and got her adulation, and her fans tell her they love her.
I have to read this from, what does it say, Metafrost? Tim Pool can't pronounce French words. Agreed.
Is that huh?
I can't pronounce that word. I can't say French things. I can say le chat est sur la table. That's about as close as I'll get to saying anything in French.
I wonder if crackhead Candace will eventually get around to blaming Tyler Robinson for the murder of Charlie Kirk.
Guys, I already figured this out.
She'll get there?
I already figured this out. Do you know what the end of the season finale of this season is going to be? It's going to be Charlie Kirk was responsible for the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
Oh, he planted it.
It's like it just goes all the way around until it just creates like an Ouroboros.
Traveled from the past. to the future. Shot himself because he was tired of dealing.
I don't necessarily want to say too soon because we're kind of just making fun of Candace being crazy, but I would expect her to go that far. I mean, the U.S. military, the French Foreign Legion, Israel.
If you accuse enough people, eventually something will be right.
Well, my theory is, do you guys know what Three Stooges syndrome is?
No.
You familiar with this one? Three Stooges. Let me pull this up for you because we've talked about it on the show before. Richie knows what I'm talking about. Three Stooges syndrome. It refers to a state of being overwhelmed by multiple tasks, diseases, or problems so that nothing gets done. And I have an image that I can show you explaining exactly what this is. Let me just pull this one up and zoom in for you.
What an episode I came on.
Here you go. It's demonstrated by this doctor who took oversized novelty germs and tried to push them all through a single door at once, and they all get stuck and can't get in. Thus was why Mr. Burns had every notable disease but wasn't dying. My theory is that Candace Owens is engaging in what we would call Three Stooges syndrome as for defamation. She's trying to defame as many people as possible so that when they all file the lawsuits at the same time, the courts will be overwhelmed and they won't actually be able to finish any of the trials until 40, 50 years from now.
You know, this topic is just, the Charlie Kirk death. I don't know if you were very close with him.
I wouldn't say very close.
It rocked me to my core.
Really?
I knew nothing about him other than he was a political guy.
Yeah.
And to see that image and the video absolutely twisted me up. So it's, it's horrible what happened to him. And, I've talked about it a lot.
Yeah. How would you describe yourself politically? Like not really that political or anything?
I was never political, and I became politicized because I did a movie called Roe v. Wade. And by doing that movie, I was put in 2021, and they said I was a right-winger.
Really?
And I did nothing other than be in a movie about abortion. And through that movie, I had learned a lot about abortion and Planned Parenthood, how it started, Margaret Sanger, all the other things that came up with it. And I was considered, I did an interview with a paper called The Daily Beast. I'm just an actor and a comedian, bro. I didn't know anything. I didn't know there was left and right and all these agendas. You hear about it.
Yeah.
And then they said all of this stuff. Then I was like, well, that's not true about me. That's not true. And so then I was kind of demonized through that one article, and then it started. And then through COVID, I started like voicing my opinion. But I consider myself a dude who's just, I don't know, normal, which is in the middle, common sense. But now I don't know what I am.
Well, this is still normal, but it's
right.
Normal people in a crazy world look crazy.
This is the where most of us are, right? Like Ian's not a conservative by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, anybody who met him today would be like, he's kind of nuts. But they'll call him right wing for simply being on this show. They'll call me right wing for simply it's exactly as you described.
Yeah, it's like there's just common sense things, and if you question, the thing is that we should be able to talk about everything, and we should question everything. And when you are not allowed to question something, and you're labeled, that's insane to me. So I say, don't be loyal to a label, be loyal to logic. So there's, I don't care what party you are, what religion you are. After Charlie Kirk, I said this on my podcast, a lot has changed for me. And I don't care about gender, religion, democratic affiliation. I care if you're a good person or not. And I think that's a big thing that people have to understand. And they're going to go, well, what does that mean? I think just common sense of being a good person.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that watch this podcast that are going to basically be like, oh, well, duh, Phil. But the situation that we're in now is if you say things that step out of line with the left, they just essentially say you're right wing. And it doesn't matter how many issues it is. It doesn't matter if it's a lot of issues or just one of the issues they hold dear.
But bro, let me say this. I love that you're promoting your album through this whole thing. Hilarious.
Cheers.
Is that it's changing, and Hollywood is way more common sense than people realize. They just don't want to say it because they don't want to fuck their money up. But their money is changing because more people are like, this is too much.
Well,
you know what I mean? We're getting back to normalcy, which I would consider an 80s movie.
One thing you said
those were great.
Yeah.
Some of the best movies ever made. Why are we making more of those?
Exactly. Well,
Bring me to Sherman, Illinois.
Exactly. Like making loud comedies and just that type of stuff. So it is changing.
Where's Groundhog Day? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Isn't it like I love this point
Correct.
because it's one of the greatest movies ever made. It's not a big budget. It's literally just a comedian and human actors, and they use film to create a time loop.
Yes.
They don't do special effects, no crazy CGI. It's one of the best movies ever made. All movies today are just lowest common denominator explosions. You rarely get...
Well, that's not true. There's a lot of amazing art, smaller movies.
Sure, but I mean, the point is the big studios aren't releasing these in theaters, and they're not becoming cultural icons.
No, what they're doing is instead of making $10 million movies, they're making $100 million movie. They're making these super movies for $200 million, and they're making way less movies. When I was coming up, you could audition for 4 $10 million comedies a week.
Wow.
Now they don't even make comedies.
Yeah.
So it's
offensive.
Which is insane, but it is changing because of voices like yourself and other people that are saying we're not offended. All the gatekeepers were being offended for people that weren't offended. So comedy is the first thing to kind of loosen up the culture, and I think it is changing.
You said something about how you felt demonized for questioning, I think, or that you were questioning.
Oh, I was
and you felt
attacked
strange for questioning.
Yeah.
And that it should be okay to question. What I want to bring that up because we're tying into what Candace is doing, and that's her argument is, I'm just asking questions. But I tell you, if you ask the widow of a murdered man, did you kill your husband? That's punishment. That process is punishment for the widow. So, yeah, you might think you're just asking questions, Candace, but at some point, certain questions are more than just questions. And I think then that argument is used against people when they're honestly like, why do I have to get a vaccination? Why? And then they'll be like, hey, some questions are too much to ask. No, I don't know. There's a balance. There is a balance. You can psyop culture by asking certain questions. You certainly can.
Would you say that there is a tasteful way to ask even sensitive questions, though? I mean, if you're asking a question, that's one thing. But if you're going on a podcast and posing it to your audience, is the question really the important thing, or is it about actually garnering a larger audience or feeding meat to your audience? That's the kind of topic that they're interested in. Because if you're seriously interested in finding out, in the context here, we're talking about Candace. Candace could reach out to Erica and talk to her. So it's not, in my opinion, it's not that Candace is looking to answer questions. She's looking to pose questions in order to entertain her audience.
Listen, I know what we need to do. Every time we end a segment, here's my plan. I'm going to go like this. Well, it's a really interesting story. I guess we're going to have to wait and see. So thanks for hanging out. Smash the like button. Hold on a minute. I just got an email. Let me check this out. Oh my God!
Was it your special tips email?
Oh my God! This email, this email. I'm gonna have to do another video. Don't miss my show at 1 p.m. when I expose what I just received. It's terrifying. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.